Hello Aries, welcome to Essence Reflections Tarot. My name is Krista and this is your reading for the week of July 15th to 21st, 2019. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can find out when your reading comes out next week. And let's just dive in and see what the cards have for you this week. Physically, you have the Ten of Cups in reverse. Emotionally, the Five of Swords. Cards are just all over the place. And mentally, Death in reverse. And spiritually, the Three of Wands. So it looks like your major shift for you happening this week is in your thinking, and it is a very major shift. It is a shift of coming out and coming through a process of transformation that has really brought you into the thick of things and into the muck of dealing with things from the past and having them really go underground and go through that process of, you know, how you put fertilizer on the garden and it goes in with the soil and everything kind of does its thing, and it really nourishes new growth. And you're at that point of everything is nourished and things are happening underground, but you haven't yet seen anything kind of blossom and come up yet. That's on the horizon. And there's, on the spiritual level, it looks like things are starting to kind of sprout and to come into being, and it looks like there's new opportunities opening up for you that you did not have on your horizon even last week. It's really looking like you're at almost a crossroads in terms of deciding where you're going to go and what's available to you and what opportunities you're going to take hold of and move forward with. And it looks like this process here is still affecting you emotionally. It can feel like a bit of an emotional crisis caused by your thinking and caused by the conflict in how you think about your emotions, and that's really blocking your ability to allow things to flow physically and allow yourself to feel a connection to community, a connection to those around you, possibly a bit of rough waters in terms of connections with family at the moment. There are no pentacles in this reading. You have the cups, swords, and wands. So it looks like a lot of what's happening for you this week is internal shifts. And it doesn't have a whole lot to do with what's happening around you practically. The major things going on for you are internal in terms of how your thinking is affecting your emotions and how that is really coloring your perspective. And with the Five of Swords here, this is the card of crisis of thinking, a crisis of thinking about your emotions, and there being conflict internally, and definitely the paradigm of winners and losers set up within the way that you're thinking about your emotions. And let's just look here to see if there's anything else that the cards have to tell you this week in terms of how to move forward. And there we have the Pentacles. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse and the Fool. It looks like you are being called to be open to this new way of thinking that's happening here with the Death card. And as things kind of move through and this new growth starts happening, it may feel like you are at the point of having to take some risks. It may feel risky to adopt this new way of thinking. With this Seven of Pentacles in reverse here, it really looks like it's time to take a step back, and it's probably been difficult for you to be able to do that, to really take a step back and allow yourself to just take stock of where things are at. Maybe really reflect on what this crisis of thought is, and allow yourself to separate yourself from that and realize that your thoughts are not you, that there's a difference between what you're thinking and who you are. And so this process that's happening right now does not inform you about who you are. These are merely just thoughts that are drifting through, and it's possible to allow them to go through rather than getting attached to them. And it really feels like with this Five of Swords here and the Death card in reverse, there's a lot of disjointed thinking going on, and it feels confusing, and also definitely very, very much a sense of conflict and disharmony. And this can be a very unsettling place to be in, but this is not somewhere that you're going to rest and somewhere that you're going to stay. At the top of the deck here, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, and this is speaking of a new inspiration and a new gift of passion that's around the corner for you. And that is kind of, it's like those seeds that are underground and that are being nourished and that are starting to sprout that we can't see yet. It's a reminder that those are just around the corner. And as you are open to this new way of thinking, into these new belief systems that are taking root for you, that's going to bring you away from this crisis point in terms of how you are thinking about your emotions. And I don't see the Strength card here, but it's really coming to mind. And the reminder with the Strength card is to have self-compassion for when these sorts of situations in these points of crisis come up, that we can be gentle with ourselves and be gentle with these big emotions that can be very upsetting and feel very conflicting for us. And we also here have at the top of the pile the Temperance card, and I believe that this is an indication of what it is that you're moving towards, and you are moving towards a place of finding balance between earth and spirit, and a way of combining what's happening for you internally, your emotions, and being able to work with them and to really feel a stability and a sense of protection in terms of how you deal and move through your emotions. And so hopefully that gives you a bit of hope for this week, Aries, and hopefully it gives you something to kind of remember that this point that you're at right now, it's not going to last, for one thing, but for another, it is moving you through to something better, and allowing yourself to disidentify with those thoughts and realize that those thoughts do not define you will help you very much to be able to move through them. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope that you do have an excellent week. Bye-bye.